This is Cromer, a seaside resort on the northern coast of East Anglia. The nearest big town is Norwich, 20 miles away. Cromer has little industry of its own apart from the tourists, and many of its school leavers move away from the town to find jobs. But as in any other community of this size, there are many local jobs to be done, and many local people who choose to stay and do them. When most of Cromer is just about waking up, the inshore crab fishermen have already been at work for 3 hours or more, 2 miles out to sea in their small crab boats, doing a job that's been traditional here for generations. Philip Everett is 18. He's lived in Cromer all his life, and now, a couple of years after leaving school, he's learning his trade as a crab fisherman under the skipper of this boat, Richard Davis. The crab boats go out to sea at dawn, 6 days a week. Each boat has its own set of pots to look after, and the pots have to be hauled in, emptied, and filled with fresh bait each morning. A crab or a lobster must grow to a certain size before they're allowed to catch it. Those in the pots that are obviously too small go straight back where they came from. The bait is flounder, and if it isn't fresh every day, the crabs aren't interested. Crab fishing is only a seasonal job. In winter, the crabs disappear out to deep sea. But Philip is lucky. Richard spends the winter fishing for whelks, so Philip's employed all the year round. For other local fishermen, winter often means signing on the dole. The crab boats are specially built to be fairly stable in a high sea. But even so, it's not an easy job to get used to. Philip was sick more often than not when he first started, but he stuck it out. When he's learned the job thoroughly, he wants to buy a boat of his own and be his own boss.
You know about my missus going out, Phil.
Richard has 150 pots to look after, and once they've all been cleared, it's back to home as quickly as possible. Fresh crabs mean money, and if they're exposed to daylight too long before they're boiled, they start to go off. On the way back, Philip does some measuring. Each crab must be a certain minimum size, or Richard could face a prosecution for landing them too small. As the boats head into shore, the rest of the town starts work and the traffic starts to flood the high street. Susan Amis is 17. Her family lives just outside Cromer, and she comes into town to start work at 9 as a waitress in a high street restaurant. This is Susan's second job since leaving school.
When I first left school, I went into a sort of grocery shop. I didn't really like it because people were a lot older than what I was, and I was sort of their dog's body, did everything they didn't want to do.
Now she's working with several girls around her own age. Susan is much happier. Before the first customers arrive, there's plenty of jobs to do preparing the restaurant.
The other day I was gazing at it, and I had my finger away from it. I was pulling it out.
Lunchtime, and the holidaymakers pour off the beach and head for the cafes. For the next couple of hours, Susan will be on the go non-stop.
Good morning, what would you like?
What's the fish like today?
It's fresh every day, so it should be nice.
Not all the girls working here are permanent like Susan. In the summer, the restaurant is twice as busy as the winter, and half the staff are only seasonal, mostly students working during their holidays. Susan has a stronger reason than many for wanting a job close to home, because she has to look after a semi-invalid mother. But even so, she's never wanted to leave the area, and feels that, as a local, she can bring something extra to the job.
We have got an advantage over people who come for a job who come from, say, Norwich or somewhere, because we sort of know the town and people ask where streets are and where the cinema is and things like that.
There isn't much chance to talk when things are as busy as this, and Susan's main task is concentrating on serving 6 or 7 tables at once.
Okay. Thank you.
oranges and a Coke, please.
In a small community like Cromer, all the locals know all the shops and cafes. Susan found this job through an advert in the local paper. But she'd been in the restaurant many times before as a customer, so she had some idea what the job would be like. All the crab boats have their pots in different parts of the bay, but they all manage to get back to the beach around the same time. There's no harbour at Cromer, so getting the boats up onto the shore is a long job. Lobsters have to be measured as well. The regulations are strict, and a customs official regularly comes down to the beach to check the catches. Three diesel tractors are the key to the landing operation. They tow the boats up the beach, and the first men ashore drive them till all the boats are in. In Cromer, there are 2 or 3 families who have been fishermen for generations. Sons have joined fathers as soon as they've left school, and very few of these families have ever left to do other jobs. So the fishermen form a tight-knit community in themselves. Working on these boats can be dirty, wet and smelly, so Philip and all the others wear thick waterproof outfits that are easy to wash down. This hasn't been a very good catch. On his best morning, Richard has brought in over 1,000 crabs. Like any profession that depends on the sea, this is a risky business. In a bad week, the sea might be too high to go out at all, and that means no income. Philip gets a weekly wage from Richard, whether there's fishing or not. If he does get his own boat, though, he'll have to depend on what he catches for his living. Most of Richard's catch is driven off to Lowestoft each day, but some is kept for the local cafes and fish stalls. One of the highlights of Cromer's season is Carnival Week. Most of the town are involved in one way or another, on the floats or, like Susan, just watching the parade go by. John Roberts is another local who wouldn't miss this carnival. He's lived in this part of the country all his life and has no desire to leave. For John, the attractions of the town he knows are obvious.
I can walk down the street any time, any hour of the day, and there's always be somebody I know who'll say, "Hello, John." Not that I'm begrudging that, but everybody knows everybody. I think Cromer has, quite a lot to offer.
Although he lives in Cromer, John now has a job in North Walsham, 7 miles away. When he first left school, he worked in a hardware store in Cromer, but the business was taken over, and a bit concerned about his prospects, he decided on a move. Even though he has to travel further, he's glad he moved when he did.
I'm happy working in North Walsham with this company, because there's not so much of an age difference there. You see, I have my manager who is only 5 years older than myself, and there's more people. It's more of a happy relationship.
Peter? I know I am very good at cutting straight, but I can see. I'll have the one with the big top, I think. I think I should be, I shan't break that so much. I think I'll take that one now.
You'll take that one. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Like Susan, John feels it's an obvious advantage being a local in a local job.
I think mainly older people tend to trust you. They come into a shop and they'll see you standing there and they'll say, "Good morning, sir, can I help you?" And they'll come up to you and you'll say, "Have you got a screw for my door lock?" And you'll say, "Yes, my booty." Like that. People laugh at me when I say that, but it comes up, it hits them, He's local, he's a good sort. Thank you very much, madam. £81.
Thank you very much, madam. Still? It's quite warm today, isn't it?
No, it isn't. Fast again.
John, I want to take a stock of tools, electrician tools. Will you go and check the stock and see
interested in just in tools, you know, everything to do with them. I know how to use them, how to apply them, and if it's necessary, I can tell somebody else how to use them. And that's what really attracted me.
A knife box.
A knife box? Do you mean to stack your knives and forks in? Yes, sir.
In a big store like this, serving a wide area, there's an enormous variety of stock on the shelves, and every customer needs personal attention.
Do you have a better quality one with a top?
You want the lid as well, did you? I haven't one with the lid at the moment. We're supposed to be having some come with them, you know, made of wood, plied.
Yes, all right, then I'll leave that one.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. Goodbye.
Packet of size, please.
Packet of size, certainly. Excuse me. What is it? Do you know what it does?
I think it says on there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Half a gallon. Thank you very much. Makes a half a gallon.
The local careers officer suggested several jobs to John when he left school. Most would have meant leaving the area, but he feels happier where he is.
If you've worked locally for so long, I think you're accepted. That's what I like about it. I don't think I could go away and work now, build up new friends, new relationships. Possibly, if the right job came with the right prospects for me to move, I would. But at the moment, I'm satisfied.
And you want the price of it? How much is the size?
7.5. Thank you very much.
Back on the beach, Philip comes to clean out the boat after the morning's fishing. The boats cost around £3,000, so they have to be well looked after. Unlike many of the other fishermen, Philip doesn't come from a seagoing family, but he's always liked the sea. When he first left school, he worked as an apprentice to a boat builder in Wroxham. But that meant hours of travel every day, and he eventually gave it up to join the crab boats at home. The engine is vitally important, and it's checked out every day to make sure it'll start first time the following morning.
Philip, come cut this part off, will you?
Although to some people, a place like Cromer might seem much too quiet and isolated to work in, Susan, John and Philip have decided this is where they want to be.